Hello, everybody. This is John Lazis here with the Health Insurance Specialists out of Boulder, Colorado, coming to you here today with a special conversation with my special guest, Adam Thompson, who is a farmers insurance agency owner based in Littleton, Colorado. And we're here to discuss an aspect of health coverage that some of you may be aware of, some of you not, but we're here to talk to you about the pros and cons of this set of options, and then to also distinguish it from another set of options that you have available as well. So specifically, what we're going to talk about for just the next few minutes are health shares, sometimes known as health share ministry plans, and offered by a number of organizations out there. I first wanted to hit on the pluses or pros of health shares. They are often good for the what I call faithful believer, because most but not all of these health shares do have a set of Christian principles that they want their subscribers to abide by and promise to live by. And a lot of people like that. They are also lower in cost typically than health insurance. Third pro is that these health shares can often cover smaller expenses well, smaller medical expenses. I call them routine expenses, but sometimes you get into trouble when the bills start to mount up. We'll say more about that in a minute. And they also, but not always, can provide good maternity benefits depending on which health share you have. So a lot of people have gone to health shares, unfortunately, as a substitute for health insurance. And I say unfortunately because they're not designed to take the place of health insurance. And they, on the other hand, can be used in conjunction with health insurance to supplement and fill in the gaps of any health insurance plan. On the flip side, some of the not so positive aspects of health shares are that, as I alluded to, they're not insurance. And what's meant by that is that they do not contain any contractual guarantees that benefits will be paid. You can see this on the health share organization's website. It's very clearly stated there and in their documentation. The reason, by the way, that they don't guarantee benefits is because all health shares are relying on a limited pool of funds that members contribute to every month. And if there's a run on claims, in other words, an unusually high number of claims in a given time period, and that pool of funds dries up, health shares don't have any backup. They don't have any reserves. They don't have any reinsurance, which is like insurance for insurance companies, to make sure that those claims get paid. They also are not regulated by the state's division of insurance. And that's because they're not insurance. So who regulates them? Well, it's going to be the state attorney in each state, if the health share is doing something not quite right. Another aspect of health shares is that the health share co-op decides the medical necessity of surgeries and procedures. So they do and can have a lot of leeway in that regard. In other words, in determining how much they're going to pay. The next point is that, just trying to go down my list here and make sure I'm not duplicating what I just said, but another major point about health shares is that the subscriber to the health share is responsible for paying their bills to the medical providers up front and then getting reimbursed on the back end, if they can get reimbursed. And we'll say more about that. I think, Adam, you have a story to relate regarding that here in just a moment. The coverage is not guaranteed renewable as well under health shares. And so what that means is that if you develop a condition while you're on a health share, you may not be able to requalify for the health share the next time you're supposed to re-up. Also, pre-existing conditions for when you go into a health share are typically not covered, or if they are, there's often up to a 3-year waiting period before those pre-existing conditions will be covered. There's no clear-cut deductible in every case with a health share. In other words, the deductible can be determined by the health share on a case-by-case basis. Okay. And many providers, meaning medical doctors and hospitals and such, will not accept health shares. And that's because they don't want to have to chase after the health share for reimbursement or payment. You know, and so that's why you have to pay the provider up front with the health share and then go and get reimbursed yourself by the health share. If you file a claim, here's another one. If you file a claim, you have to be your own claims department for you and your family. Okay, there's no one fighting on your behalf to make sure that those claims get paid and so on and so forth. I think you have a little bit more to say about that here in a second, Adam. The last bullet point here is sort of stating the obvious, going back to one of my first points, but if a person or a couple, let's say, is not willing to, they don't follow Christian principles, or they're not willing to commit to those principles that are put forth by some of these health shares, then it's not going to be a good fit for them. So I've done a lot of talking up to this point. I want to give you the mic, Adam, and I want you to, if you can just address briefly some of those bullet points that I just went over that are most pertinent to you in your situation. Now, Adam and his wife have had a health share in the recent past, and you know, we're not going to name any names, but he's got some pretty interesting and surprising and disappointing experiences to relate to us. So why don't you go ahead and take over there, Adam?
Well, thank you, John. I really appreciate you for having me on and having this discussion here today to share with everyone just a little bit more insight on the value of having true insurance versus having a health share type of a plan, and then also just having the true value of having an agent that's on your side versus a call center, type of an experience. So my wife and I, several years ago, we were decided to go into and have a health share plan instead of traditional health insurance for ourselves, because the cost was very appealing to us on a per monthly basis. And we talked to several and ended up deciding on one based on some recommendations from personal friends, and then looking into just our conversations we had with the sales reps at the time in there. And they definitely, sold us, on the value of what they had to offer, and it seemed very good. Unfortunately, in our personal experience, we've seen it seems a little too good to be true, and it is, because like you alluded to, John, health share programs are not true insurance. They do have the ability to change their mind on how they're paying, or if they're going to make a payment on a claim. We have seen that firsthand ourselves. We have seen it through, like you also discussed a little bit about the lack of funding and the backing of a health share company, what they have, the money in their coffers, so to say. Whereas a true insurance company, they've got that backed, and they're also backed by other insurance companies, that they have for themselves to make sure that they can make good on their contractual agreement there. So my wife and I, we had a daughter. She's about 18 months old now, and we are still trying and arguing to get our claim paid on that maternity, the birth of our daughter there. So that is definitely one where, like you alluded to, generally when we saw that, we thought they were going to be good on that. We've heard a lot of great stories, in fact, ourselves of them paying out. Unfortunately, in our case, I think it comes down to a lack of funding in there, that they just don't have the backing to actually make those payments. We had a decent experience with small claims in there, little doctor visits here and there, but when it came to the big dollar amounts, we're still the ones on the hook. And like you said, John, we had to pay up front before they'd be willing to reimburse us. on
Well,
that. Which,
say a little bit more, Adam, if you will, about what your experience has been communicating with the health share that you've had, and trying to get these claims made. And do you mind sharing about how much we're talking about here in terms of medical bills?
yeah, so right now we'll just start with that dollar amount real quick. I mean, birth of our daughter was a little over 20 grand. In there is what that medical bill ended up looking like. There was a couple different bills in there that added up to that, because when you go to the hospital, they bill it out in portions. So
Right.
we have had little portions of each of those bills paid a little bit, but unfortunately, that we're still looking to try to collect roughly about 14 grand ourselves right now of what was told to us would have been covered. And they told us they also, from the time we filed the claim, had 180 days to pay the claim. We are well past 180 days, folks. We are over a year and a half into this now.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. And what's the experience been like communicating with the
claims,
health share?
yeah, so it's very call center based. We called in, and we've had in call centers, there's generally high turnover, no matter what the industry is. That's just the nature of a call center. And
Yep.
so we've called in and started working with someone, and just noticed that we were at the mercy of two people all the time. The last person that we talked to, whatever quality of a representative they were, if they took really good notes and they put those notes in the system well. And then we were also at the mercy of the person that we're on the phone with on, hey, do they even read the notes? And they could be a rock star person, but if the last person we talked to, like I said, didn't put good notes in, then we're starting all over again. And we had that experience, and because there was high turnover, a lot of the times the last person we talked to wasn't there anymore. And this is literally in a matter of weeks in there. And we would stay on hold. I mean, my wife and I have been on hold at this point for days now. It's literally, if we are planning on making that call into the call center, it's a first thing in the morning. And we have a daughter now, so we literally line up babysitters so that we can deal with the hold times that we have to just transferring around in there to try to get this rectified and taken care of, which is definitely a frustration. Whereas we made the decision, which is why I'm on here today, to no longer utilize health share programs and go back into traditional health insurance for ourselves, because we saw the value in having actual insurance that does have a contractual agreement to pay out, that we could actually go and take legal recourse if needed. Whereas with the health share, there is no legal recourse because they're not insurance companies. And we've looked into that and went down that path, and it stopped pretty abruptly, unfortunately.
You
Um,
know, well, I think this carries plenty of weight coming from you, Adam, the consumer, but perhaps even more given that you are a property and casualty agent, insurance agent yourself, and so you know the insurance world, and so I do appreciate your sharing this experience from your personal and business sense perspective. Now, I want to make it clear, this is not about beating up on competition, beating up on any particular company or organization. But look, when you related this experience with me, Adam, I just we are the health insurance advisors, so we do our best to advise people on all things health insurance. And health shares work well for some people, like I said, in some situations.
that's true.
But
But
what
we
I,
have those experiences too.
yeah, yeah. But what I want to, the point I want to impress upon people is that if you want to have complete peace of mind that you're going to have catastrophic coverage, you're going to have contractual guarantees, like you said, Adam, that benefits are going to be paid out according to the terms of the contract, no matter what. Uh, Relying on a health share solely is not the way to go. And so what can you do from there? Well, it's not necessarily an either or proposition. It might be a both and proposition. Every health insurance policy, like every insurance policy in the last 16 years of my being in the insurance world, has its gaps and holes.
Yep, that's true.
And so it behooves us all to if we were able to and willing to fill those gaps and holes with a supplemental coverage, and that's where health share can come in and help fill some of those gaps and holes.
Mhm. I appreciate that. And I really appreciate you, John, because you do provide that individual personalized service that if we file a claim, I know that I can call you and you can be the guy that goes to bat for me instead of me and my wife doing the whole claims process 100% on our own and just wasted a massive amount of time and energy.
Yeah, well, I appreciate your pointing that out. And what Adam is speaking to is the fact that I do serve as the front line of customer service for my clients. And so I invite them to call on me anytime with any questions or issues regarding the health coverage that I help them get. In some cases, we will need to get customer service on the line via three-way call. In some cases, I will tell you, Adam, and all my clients, I can't do that for you, such as change your banking info or your address or the terms of your policy. You will have to do that directly with customer service. But good thing with our centralized customer service department is there is an option to, if you don't want to wait on hold, just within a matter of seconds, click the option, press the option that says, I want to call back. And, you get a call back in most cases within an hour or two. And if not, within 24 hours for sure. And, it's a lot less painful than it sounds like what you've been going through, you and your wife.
Yes.
Yeah. So was there anything else you wanted to add to the discussion here, Adam, about your experiences? Any other things that really hit home for you, learnings out of this experience?
Well, I mean, just to recap, I really value having an actual agent that instead of which I can build a personalized relationship with that knows our specific situation to make sure that we tailor the package to us and that we can review that as we go forward. Whereas the call center experience, you're at the mercy of people that you don't know, and you are literally a call number that day for them. And so I just really value having an actual agent, and which is in my case, I provide that service to my clients as well. And just having that experience, like you said, John, sometimes it will work out well for some people. It will, and there's some good companies out there. Our experience, unfortunately, is one that has made the determination an eye-opening experience that what true insurance, the difference between health share programs and true health insurance, what that really truly is.
Yeah, so I would kind of wrap things up here on my end by just saying, hey, if you're going to go with the health share, go for it, but do your homework, know what you're getting into, what you're getting, what you're not getting, and be an informed consumer,
Mhm.
before you make the decision. Same with health insurance, same with property and casualty insurance. Do
Yep.
your homework, do your share. Don't rely on Big Brother solely
Mhm.
for them to make the best decision for you, and and then do your best from there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah.
Well, I
Any
appreciate it today,
yeah,
John, and thank you
yeah,
for having
yeah.
me on.
Oh, pleasure to have you on, Adam. And we'll speak soon. And if you guys have any questions for either of us, feel free to reach out. I can be reached at 303-817-3526. That's 303-817-3526. Or you can shoot me an email at john.lazis, L-A-Z like zebra, A-S like Sam, at USH, like Uncle Sam Harry, advisors.com. And why don't you give us your contact info, Adam?
Yeah, thank you, John. Yeah, my name's Adam Thompson, and my office phone number here, if you have any questions about your property casualty, so home, auto insurance needs there, business insurance as well. My phone number is 303-933-8400. My email address is athompson1@farmersagent.com. That's spelled out ATHOMPSON, the number one, at farmersagent.com. And I'd be happy just to give a consultation if anyone has any questions or just about their personal property casualty insurance needs.
Awesome. Well, good deal, Adam. Thanks so much for stepping in here and chatting on this important subject with me. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You as well, John. Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
You too.